Hello everyone who accidentally stumbled upon this video again while eating, welcome back. Today, we're talking about whether you should pull for Ineffa or skip. Now, let's be honest. Ineffa is a character who introduces a new elemental reaction mechanic. She basically creates a new type of reaction in the game. Think of it like how Nilou transforms Bloom into Bloom Pro Max. Well, Ineffa does the same. She upgrades Electro Charged into Electro Charge Pro Max called Lunar Charge. In today's video, I'll explain how her skills work, how Lunar Charge functions, and briefly touch on her damage scaling. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to support future content, and for those who already did, may you get your next featured 5-star in just 10 pulls. Alright, let's get into it. Ineffa pull or skip? Let's first talk about Lunar Charge, before diving into her skills. Lunar Charge only happens when Ineffa is in your team. She converts all electro-charged reactions into Lunar Charge. So, how does it work? Lunar Charge is triggered by Hydro plus Electro, just like Electro Charged. But instead of the regular reaction, you get Lunar Charge, which deals wider AoE damage. The same enemy will take damage every 2 seconds until the reaction ends. Also, Lunar Charge can crit, and it ignores enemy def completely. Here I'll show a damage table on screen, and don't worry if it looks complex. In that table, you'll see that there's no def scaling at all, meaning the damage is true damage. Yes, just pure raw output. Another thing Lunar Charge's damage comes from every unit in your team that can trigger the reaction. For example, if you run Ayato, Fischl, Yellen, and Ineffa, Lunar Charge will use damage contributions from all 4 of them combined into one big Lunar Charge hit. Also, Lunar Charge scales less with Elemental Mastery than Electro Charged. Let me give you some numbers. With 1000 EM, Electro Charge gets plus 633.3% damage, but Lunar Charge only gets plus 261.3%. Source credit, Sajif77. Go check his channel. So, yeah, that's a quick breakdown of how Lunar Charge works. Now let's go over Ineffa's skill set. In normal attack, nothing special here, so we'll skip this one. The elemental skill, Pressing. The skill does one big AoE electro hit, then summons a bot that attacks every 2 seconds and also creates a 20-second shield. Cooldown, 16 seconds. Duration, 20 seconds, which means the shield can be maintained almost constantly unless it breaks due to too much incoming damage. If you have 3000 ATK, her shield can block around 12,000 damage. The bot also deals approximately 200% ATK per hit, which is actually decent for a support unit in a reaction-based team. And Elemental Burst Her Burst does a big AoE Electro Nuke, and summons a bot as well. If there's already a bot on field, it refreshes the duration instead of replacing it. Cooldown 15 seconds. Passive talents. When Ineffa uses her burst, all teammates get Elemental Mastery equal to 6% of her ATK for 20 seconds. Example, if Ineffa have a 2000 ATK teammates get 120 EM, if 3000 ATK will get 180 EM. No cap, the higher the ATK, the more EM she shares. But be careful, don't build pure ATK or pure EM. Since Lunar Charge can crit, you'll want to also stack crit rate and crit DMG. Passive 2. Every 100 ATK that Ineffa has gives 0.7% base damage to Lunar Charge, up to a cap of 14% at 2000 ATK. This buff directly scales the base damage, and since Lunar Charge ignores DF, this is huge. Passive 3. This one is crazy. Even after being nerfed, it's still OP. Whenever Lunar Charge is triggered, and the bot attacks right afterward, Ineffa triggers a special Electro AoE attack dealing 65% of her ATK. And this damage also counts as Lunar Charge, which means it ignores DF as well. So yeah, C0 Ineffa already has some ridiculous scaling. So, should you pull? We won't go into constellations today. That'll be in the full Ineffa guide. But here's a summary of how she performs. Ineffa is in the same power tier as Escoffier, but she's way more flexible. Escoffier is locked into Hydro or Cryo Freeze teams, but Ineffa doesn't require just Electro plus Hydro. She can be played in Vapor Load team, Hyper Bloom, and more. Want to bring Electro, Hydro, Pyro, even Dendro? She fits. So if your account already has strong teams in every element, then Ineffa is 100% worth pulling. And even in the next Stygian onslaught, there's a room that forces electro-charged comps, and she's perfect for that. Looking at her DPS charts, her comps hits around 70,000 to 80,000 DPS, and some comps with Nouvelette even push approximately 90,000. Sure, DPS not as strong as Nouvelette's best teams, but she's still very powerful. And in this case, that's with only a 4-star weapon. If she uses her signature weapon, her damage goes way higher. Some calcs even show she outdamages Yellen in teams with Clorinda. That's pretty insane. Maybe she's not as versatile as Furiana or Yellen, but she's definitely a strong unit that's worth considering. Now let's talk about weapons. Which polearms work best with Ineffa? For 5-star options, her signature weapon at Refinement 1 is obviously the best pick, with a full 100% synergy. Calamity Queller comes in second with 88%, making it a solid alternative. Symphonic is also strong at 85.1%, and it synergizes well with her kit. Staff of Homa is at 83.3%, providing crit DMG and survivability. Scarlet Sands is a decent choice too, around 79.5%. As for 4-star weapons, Ballad still ranks highest among 4 stars with 78%. Deathmatch, R5, and Deathmatch, R1, follow closely at 76.5% and 72.6% respectively. Massive Wind gives 71%, and Ballad sits at 72.8%. Lastly, Dragonbane is viable too, scoring around 68% in synergy. All in all, Ineffa has plenty of strong weapon choices, both 5-star and 4-star. Pick based on what you have, but if you plan to main her, going for the signature weapon will definitely maximize her potential. To sum it all up, Ineffa brings a new elemental reaction, strong scaling, and great team flexibility. She's not just a reaction bot, she deals real damage and buffs the team too. If you're planning for late-game content like Stygian Onslaught, or want a powerful Electro driver, she's absolutely worth the pull. So who exactly is Ineffa for? Well, if you're building a team around Electro Charged to handle specific endgame content like Stygian Onslaught, then she's absolutely worth considering. She also fits perfectly for players who already have enough hyper carries for each element and are looking for something fresh, a new mechanic to explore, rather than raw power alone. But if you're still early in the game or don't have stable DPS units yet, I'd honestly recommend saving your Primo Gems for characters like Mualani, who's about to get a rerun and provides more value as a long-term main carry. In the end, Ineffa is strong, stylish, and unique, but she's not for everyone. Choose wisely, traveler. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to support future content. Thanks again for watching all the way till the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.